Hello to the Monday Blue Abroad show. This is the award special, the 2020 AFL season award special, brought to you by Blue Abroad and many of our friends. I'm back in the hot seat. It's good to be back with you all. And I'm joined, it's a very special night, and we wanted to make sure that we really ramped up the production. So I've got Pom with me. Pom, welcome, mate.
Hi, how are we doing?
Look at the state of him. You look fabulous, my friend.
Look at the state. Look at what a mess. Are we diddling? Are we all right?
Mate, we're doing well. It's we've spoken about this. It's for a Carlton fan, this is the happy time because there's no disappointment. It's all hope. It's all positivity. It's all optimism. All about until, trade deadline. So I'm going well, mate.
Oh, I personally think the Blue Abroad show is better than the John Nichols medal, to be honest. I mean, this is where it's at. If Pom gives you an award, you've done well. So this is it.
Yeah, no, you're spot on, mate. You're spot on. Well, for those of you that are still getting in, tonight's going to be a little bit, very similar but very different. So where it's going to be similar is you're going to be, interacting with us tonight, which you do every week anyway. But we're going to have a few awards to give out, and you at home are going to vote for these awards live tonight. So we haven't done this pre-recorded. There's no pre-survey, anything like that. It's going to be done live. So we're going to need you to comment as we go. But before we do that, and there's probably going to be a lot of thank yous tonight because it's the episode that just captures the 2020 season, I think, and then we can just completely move on. I want to start with Shad in the back end, who runs Assertive Media, who has been powering the Blue Abroad show in 2020. It's been a ride. We've been in the studio, we've been out of the studio, we're restricted, but Shad continues to make it happen for us, and we're really grateful, Shad. We really appreciate you and your work and what you do with Assertive Media. And he makes videos for companies, guys. Any production needs that you have for your company to take it to that next level, Shad and Assertive Media is the company to get in touch with. Secondly is the members. And now you guys have really, there's only so much work people can do on a YouTube channel to make it grow. But the memberships allow so many different options, all the giveaways. I think we gave away, it was 8 Carlton Guernseys for the year, which is phenomenal. And that's funded by you guys. Things like the website are funded by you guys who give up your hard-earned to listen to a couple of Carlton fans talk week to week. So thank you very much for everyone there. Your names will pop up on the bottom. And like I said, we're looking forward to this. We're going to have 4 awards. Is that right, Pom? We've got 4 awards?
Yeah, four very special awards. Yes, should be exciting.
Yeah. So shall we start with Pom, before we start, mate, I want to give us some insight. What's happening in your world?
Oh, not much really. Just enjoying finals. It was a great week of finals, wasn't it? Let's be honest. So as a neutral, that's all we can hope for, really. Then just researching hard for the draft or the trade, just waiting for do something, Nick Austin, please. I beg you.
Yeah. For those of you that have missed out, Pom has put together a strategy, and not to say that it's definitely going to be the strategy to go by, but I don't remember seeing anything like it, Pom, for fans to have that insight, because it's really the template. You give up this and this to get this for a separate deal, and it can sometimes get confusing, but I thought you did a really good job of explaining it really well. So if you haven't checked that out at home, it's definitely something to do. What do you think about the finals intensity? That's probably the thing that's stuck out to me, the intensity of the finals, and I don't know if we quite have that level yet.
It was intriguing because when you watched, particularly when I watched the St Kilda Doggies game, that was a team that we destroyed, and that was a team also that I went in and said one of my famous were top 4 football side. So it was good to see that, because I was watching the Doggies and thinking, we've beaten these guys. We can do this. And it was, I think one thing for me was watching all teams that competed, was they competed from start to finish with that intensity. And I enjoyed the finals. I don't think we're far off, though. I watched them, and I know it's a big call, but I think the right clientele into our club, I don't think we're a million miles away, because it was one or two players under pressure that made the difference. And if we can acquire them, we'll be there next year, and we won't be doing this. We'll be postponing this till the back end of the year, hopefully.
Absolutely, mate. Well, Black Carrot, as Black Carrot always does, he's thrown us a $10 donation, and he said, "Who wants to see the Baggers perform and win in finals like the teams have won in this series?" Yeah, mate, it's a good call. And, one thing I've noticed, I guess, last year was the Brisbane come up. This year they're still there, but this year it's been, St Kilda. Are we the next team to have the come up in 2021? That's what we yearn for. And, we can talk about expectations and finals or bust, but we just got to get there, because the fans, we want to be watching our team. We want to be at finals footy.
Well, personally, I keep saying that AFL was Melbourne. Melbourne was blue. Couldn't really be blue this year, really, because we can't be here because Dan Andrews has locked us all down. But when footy's back in 2021, Melbourne will be blue. The AFL will come home to Icon Park when we can all see it, we can all touch it, we can all influence it. So I reckon we're going to have an absolute smashing 2020 post-season. Get a few cheeky players in, and next year we'll be rocking and rolling in that 8, laughing at St Kilda, because I can't watch any more St Kilda fan TV. It's doing my head in.
Yeah, I love him. I love Jake and I love the team, but I'm jealous.
I love Saints TV. We watch a lot in this house with my wife being a Saint, but seeing him happy is doing my head in. My nut.
It sure is. Okay, well, let's begin. Let's start with the awards. So we've got 4. Those of you watching at home need you to be ready to give your answers. So there are going to be 3 nominations for each award. We've got a little video clip to show. Your vote will be, obviously, the person who you think will win. Just wait before you give your answer. The first award, Pom, what's the first award?
Good question. Well, I didn't write down the running order. It's the Bleeds Blue Award. So the Bleeds Blue Award is someone that personifies what it means to be Carlton. So we've got Patrick Cripps as the first nominee, obviously someone you think of when you think of Carlton Football Club.
He sure is. He is the first nominee. Shad, can we get the first couple? Maybe rewind this video. Otherwise, we can just go off the cuff. So the first nominee is Patrick Cripps. Tom, who is the second nominee?
So for the Bleeds Blue Award, these should be Kate Simpson, Ed Kerner, and Patrick Cripps. Okay. So we've got 3 people that I think really do encompass what it means to be Carlton Football Club. Players that we really do. Here we are. Look, there you are. There's Kate Simpson walking off the ground on his last game. Definitely a blue bagger. I don't think anyone would argue with that.
No, absolutely, mate. It's hard to have him not as the favourite. Ed Kerner was the second nominee for the Bleeds Blue Award, and we all know why you can probably tell by the style of play that we have here why he's nominated. And obviously, Cripper is a warrior. He might not have had a flashy season like he's had in years gone by, but nevertheless, I still think he battled on, and the fact that he played every game was probably what got him the nomination. So, you guys at home, it's now your turn. Leave a comment. Who wins the Bleeds Blue Award? This is your opinion. We will look and see how the votes are going. It's looking like a Kade Simpson avalanche. I'll read a couple out. John Stanford thinks Ed. Waldy says Kade Simpson. There's so many Simpsons. We'll probably give it another 30 seconds. Pom, who did you nominate? Who do you think wins this award?
It's tough because I think Kade Simpson, for me, would be the obvious choice. I don't think Ed Kerno gets enough, though. So, for me, I think Ed Kerno's going to be our new Kade Simpson. He's going to be, for me, every week he puts in a shift. We didn't have the commentary in that clip, but the commentators touch on it. You'll see a lot of "We Love Ed" in the crowd, but it won't be for Ed Kerno. It'll be for Betts. and he was saying that Ed Kerner personifies Carlton Football Club. So, out of fairness, I'm going to give my vote, my special POM award. I'd give it to Ed Kerner for me. I think Ed Kerner does his shift every week without fail, and you can never argue with the effort he puts in.
Yeah. Look, there's a case to be made for all of them. Cripps playing injured, Ed doing his thing, playing his role for the team. But yeah, I think the guy that bleeds blue for me is Cade Simpson. He is what Carlton's all about, and the votes are definitely in, and this is going to be easy. It's most definitely Cade Simpson. He is the bleeds blue award winner for 2020. No surprises there.
It wasn't a surprise. I put him in there because I wanted him to win an award. So, well done. We did it.
He goes off into the sunset of retirement, never to do another interview again, but he gets a Blue Abroad award. So I'm sure he's going to be stoked with that.
I'd say that's probably second only to the Brownlow and behind the actual winning a flag. I reckon this will take pride of place in his mantelpiece.
Yeah. Let's move on. So the next award is the Moment of the Year award. So, there's been so many great moments, but we've put together a few that we believe are the best three. So have a look here. Pom, take us away.
Well, the first one, without a doubt, is Eddie Betts' heroic tackle on Mr. Henry there, sporting, a soccer mum's haircut. Just absolutely told him to sit down. Won us the game. I think that's a good moment. And the second moment, Cade Simpson again, goal on his final game. You can't write a script better. That was a magical moment for me. And the third moment, which I think again was everyone's probably favourite moment of the year, Jack Noons from the pocket. That was a great moment. That I think, clutch. It had everything, didn't it? And the celebration here. Look at this. This was Eddie Betts' only second tackle after Geelong. Look, stuck Jack Noons a treat. Absolute treat. But no, it was three great moments, and I think it's hard to pick out of all three of them for me.
So for you guys at home, in the comments, please put either Simo, Noons, or Eddie Betts, however you want to do them. I'm sure we'll be able to recognise the name you put in there. I think a little bit on all three of them. Eddie's tackle was, at the time, obviously the most important moment of the season, because the Geelong game came after losing the first two, and there was the dreaded trip to Geelong, and we hadn't won there in however many years, and to cap off a win which we obviously let Geelong back in the game, but you've got to give them respect because that's what Geelong do. That was a massive moment. Simo, what can you say? The boys have disappointed as they have done for many years, and it needed somebody to spark something, and it was Cade Simpson. I was watching that clip just now, and I'm thinking, I think Simo's going to win a second, but hard to go past Noonsy. That's for me anyway. I'm just looking at the votes right now. Shannon Gore says Noons. Baller Once says Simo. Steve Reed, Noons got me dancing in the hallway. Jono Baruch. I've missed the first part of his comment, but hello. Pommy, get it right. It was from the Perth casino.
It was a while away, wasn't it? It was a decent distance.
It was. Chris Beach says, sorry, Jack Noons, followed closely by Simo. Bailey the Artist says Noons. Henry Bush, Geelong. So that's the Eddie tackle. I'll give it a few seconds. Pom, who would you be giving this award to? The moment of the year.
Because I think I celebrated all three of these differently. Josh Klebs has hit the nail on the head as well. This was the week after that racist comment as well from Essendon fans. And I thought it was poignant with Eddie Betts. Like, that was sheer hunger, like that soccer off the ground. I remember watching that game thinking it's game over, Geelong are going to score. We were doing everything to lose it. But no, I think Noonsy for me was the one that probably, of all my angry moments this year, that was probably my happiest moment. I enjoyed every second of that. So yeah, I think it'd be hard not to give it to Noons, because that was as clutch as they come.
Yep, it's a landslide. There's been a few votes here for Eddie, but Jack Noons is most definitely the winner of Moment of the Year. And I mean, think about it. He, for players for Carlton fans, we just need a moment or a game for a player to endear themselves to us, and it's very easy. You have one game. Jack Martin did it in his first game. Noons, just the style of his play. He's not flashy. He plays a role, and probably took a few weeks for people to really, or for me personally, to really latch onto him. But he's etched himself into the history books now. We'll never forget that. It'll be one of those Nick Duigan type players or moments. The only thing is, Nunes has plenty of footy ahead of him if he works hard enough to stay on the side. So Jesse F here has said an honourable mention to Jones's header against S. I think that is a good point. I think that is a good point. If there's any other,
there was a lot of them when I was going through it. There was a lot of moments that I was coming into my mind. The header, if he didn't do it, we would have lost to the old enemy. There was a few good moments, like Sam Walsh's mark, Port as well. That absolute heroic just to get in between everyone. A lot of good moments this year, which made a change from last year where I was really clutching at straws. This year there was about 10 or 20 I could have used. So
well, let's put that to the audience, guys. Are there any other honourable mentions that we should be making here for other moments? I'm putting us on the spot, Pom, but you've just said the Sam Walsh mark. That was special, very special.
Oh, that guy's got kahunas like a polar bear, hasn't he? I mean, he takes that mark in front of 3 giants, and it's a chest mark, takes it. I mean, Cottrell's goal would be another one if I was thinking. Another one I'm thinking as well that I enjoyed was Matt Kennedy in round 18, getting stuck into the entire Brisbane midfield on his own, just jump punching Robinson and Neil, just one man. That really fired me up when I was watching that because you could see he cared. He wanted it. So a lot of moments for me, a lot of moments.
Yep. There's a few here. I'm going to read them out. Carlton_.fc. I believe that's an Instagram page as well. Doherty's dive to stop Brian Myers' goal. Yes. Love that one. Chanel Blano. Cripps' goal was great. It sure was. Crom Williamson. Cotters for moment and bleeds blue. We've got Eddie's hanger here. We've got, where are we? Steve Reed. Cotz's post-goal celebration.
That was good, yeah. It was a very good celebration.
Helena Petru, Walshy kicks 2 and mark in the Port game. Rosie ran right past him while he's lying on the ground after the mark. Enjoy that, Corns. Good, Helena.
Yeah. Spot on.
Love that. Andrew says moment of the year is Pommy in a suit.
I mean, it could be. I mean, the only time Northerners wear a suit is when they attend a funeral or go to court. So I'm breaking that tradition for Northerners. So, yeah.
All right. Well, congratulations to Jack Nunes for Moment of the Year. Let's move on. We've got 2 more awards to give out, Pom. The next one is Player of the Year. So take us through these as they play.
Yeah, so the Player of the Year, I mean, this is going to be a really interesting one for me because I don't think the usual favourite is. So the first one is Jacob Wheatering, just doing what Jacob Wheatering does best, and that is just dominating play down the back and setting up transition. Real good year. Second, we talked about that mark. Look at Sam Walsh there. Look. What a superstar. What a heartthrob. And obviously, none other than probably the last 10 years winner, Patrick Cripps, with this, the only place Cripps can kick it, really, with a nice left, with a right to left, natural angle for him. And Crippers the third. It's a tough one, this, because I think all 3 of them in their own way probably deserving of being number 1. A tough one, isn't it? All 3 have been good.
I don't think this one will be easy to read out like the others were. So for those of you at home, Wiedering, Walsh, Cripps, those are the nominees. Please let us know who was the Player of the Year. Let's talk about them. Wiedering, we spoke about him before the season started. We looked at the fact that he had a body of work put together. He started coming really into his own in the second half of 2019 when Liam Jones went out with that concussion. And then he was primed for this year. We were looking at him becoming All-Australian. And I think but for the St Kilda game and maybe the last game of the year, every other game was really of a high level. And he was ultra consistent and staunch all year. Walshy, he's a guy that he puts himself into the spotlight when he does good things. He had that first 3 or 4 week block where he was adjusting to that new role. And that probably hurt him a little bit, but it seemed like he really caught up towards the end. And he came second in the Blue Abroad Player Ratings Awards. but I can't help but feel like 1 or 2 more rounds and he would have pipped him. So that was Walsh's year. And also you probably got to give him some credit for the fact that he's in his second year, 19 turning 20. So he's 20 right now, leadership group, all of those things. And then you have Cripper, who didn't have a poor year, but by his own standards, he didn't quite reach the same heights as what he's done in the past. And that could be a variety of things. We know that he's got a shoulder issue. Cripper obviously would be one of the nominees as well. Jake Horvath, thanks very much for the 20. He says, how you going, mate? I'm going fantastically. Now, you guys at home, what are your votes? I'm just looking through them now. It's close. Pom, who are you voting for? Who would you give the Player of the Year award?
I mean, this is tough. I mean, like, for body of work throughout the season, Wiedering was just phenomenal. But I can't look over the last 10 games of Sam Walsh. He averaged 24.8 and 0.7 goals a game. The guy just went up a level. And, like, for me, I would have said, based on that form, as we know it's easier for a midfielder to get in the All-Australian, it seems, than down the back. I would have said that for 10, if the season went on for the extended games, I think Walsh would have won it. So I'm going to give mine to my boy, Sam Walsh. I think Wiedering's been amazing, probably has been the best player, but I think the back end, Walsh won games on his own. Walsh was head and shoulders looking like a potent threat, and he looked like a 10-year player in his second year. I love Walsh. I have no much more love to give for the boy, so I'm giving it to Walsh. Okay,
I've had a look at it. I'm very confident I've got this right, but it's very close. It is Sam Walsh. Sam Walsh is the winner of the Player of the Year award. Come on!
Walshy!
Yeah, and it's tough because Wiedering was so good. But this is what we want, no? This is the kind of thing that we want. We want there to be tough spots, or we want someone to be stiff because they had such a good year. And I think Walsh is a deserving winner. I mean, to be honest, on best and fairest night, I wouldn't be upset. I don't think anybody would be upset if there's a tie or if Wiedering won it and Walsh came second. They both had phenomenal years. But it was pleasing to see that, you know, the second year blues can be a thing. We know of many other players who have had that before, but it didn't seem to be a thing for Walshy.
Oh, I mean, I think for me, when we did this last year, I remember concocting the top 3 people and thinking, if Cripper doesn't win this, like, people have misunderstood what to do. So for me, I genuinely think this is a great thing for the club, that you could probably make an argument as well. Ed Kerno was better than Patrick Cripps this year. So it's awesome that we've gone from a one-man team to potentially 3 or 4. And if Cripper fires next year, you've got Doc on another year as well. We could have like a 5-way tie. So all of a sudden, I'm enjoying it. I mean, you're splitting hairs though, aren't you, between Wiedering and Doc for me? I mean, Wiedering and Walsh, I don't think there's a right or wrong answer. Both of them superstars. Yeah,
fair call. Corin Gilliam says, good on you, boys. Corin won 2K21 with me. He's my point guard, and he's elite. So thanks, Cos. Appreciate it, mate. Pom, we have another award. This is the first of its kind. It's the Best Fan Cam of the Year award. So before we get Shad in to help us play it, talk to us about the fan cams and what they've meant this year and your take on them.
I've loved fan cams, whether we've agreed or not agreed, whether you've been too positive, too negative, and all in between. I watched 4 hours of footage to come up with the 3, and I had so much fun. It was great watching them back, and I thought it just makes this so good for me to watch, because everyone just has a say. Everyone has a voice, and it's so good to see for me, so good to see. And I think it's a great opportunity for us all to come together as a community. It doesn't matter if we agree or not agree. It's something I said to Rafi the other day. Just put yourself out there. It doesn't matter. You know, whether you're right or wrong, no one can tell you your opinion's wrong. And for me, it was great to see. I had a lot of fun. I enjoyed every single person who has been on the fan cams, because it takes balls, I'm telling you, to get in front of here and talk to you guys takes balls. So anyone who does it just once a week, hats off to you. And I hope next year everyone's doing it. I want to see more girls on there as well. I'll see you in the comments. Get on here. Tell the boys what's what. You know, tell me off for swearing. I get a lot of PMs from the girls that I swear too much. Get on here and tell me to shut up. Love it.
I love it. So what we're going to do is we're going to play three of the nominees, or the three nominees. Shad's going to come in to help us play them. I hope the sound works. Otherwise, you might just have to work on the fly. So Shad, if you want to come in and play the fan cams.
I mean, if I was the coach, I swear to God, I wouldn't even let them wear the jumper anymore. You know, during training, they wouldn't even wear any of the apparel anymore. Nothing they wear, zero. You have to bring your own pops in. The only time you get to wear the jumper that I love is on game day. And I swear to God, if there's no sweat and tears, not only more sweat and tears from the other side, you will not wear that jumper again, man.
Last but not least, our skills coach, Simon Black. You get all those guys that used to play for each other, that knew each other inside and out, had great chemistry in that Brisbane team, and look what they produced. They were all winners. They were all winners. And until we get those at our club, that's the only way we can be back to the top, as Six used to say. We're Carlton. Fuck the rest.
If I had the answer, I would say it like now, but like this. 2021 soon, boys. We've had a big of a year in Victoria, and we've been dished up that. When it starts next year, if you've seen my Carlton People episode, I said next year we're going to look for wins consistently. This is what we've got to look for. If we don't get that, where are we going to be as a club?
Love it. Love it.
Well, I mean, a lot of people saying Pom should win it. I'm ineligible for the award because I'm on the show. So I got disciplined. So I was not eligible for the BNF. But all three brilliant. Absolutely brilliant.
Yeah. So we'll open up the vote and give some backstory. So you guys at home, we've got Rocco, Mark, and Chris Beach, and all of them provided something different all year. Rocco burst onto the scene and just spoke the truth that we've all been wanting to hear, I think, and a lot of us already feel, but maybe don't feel comfortable saying it because you get labelled in a certain way. But Rocco, just love him to death, honestly. Love him to death. I actually filmed a Carlton People episode with him, which will be out in a few days. So he was fantastic. Mark's been part of the channel from the beginning. You know, he's one of the OGs before the video component to the podcast to the channel came out. You know, we've done some audios with Mark, and he's next level. Mark, I know you're watching, mate. Your passion and the way what you do for this club is not to be forgotten. And Chris Beach on a different level. You know, he draws you in. He draws you in because you can see how much it means to him. And I remind me which game that one was after, Pom.
I think that one was after the Adelaide game, and that touched me like massively. That because that was just after me going mental about Bryce Gibbs, which a lot of people have told me is their favourite fan cam moment from myself. And it was to see that other side of the fans, you know, that guy, it hurt him. It hurt him. Like, I deal with my hurt by swearing and dropping a bit of banter about a player, and we have a good giggle. But how he felt, I felt inside as well. So, like, for me, I thought that was the different end of what this game does. It makes you angry. It makes you laugh. But that was a man that this club had broken, man. Broken. And I loved it. Loved every minute of everyone's fan cams. But yeah. Chris touched me like deep with that because I felt it. You forget how much this game hurts us.
Yeah, absolutely. Everyone who came on played an important part. I'm going to look at the votes here. Black Carrot has given a $5 donation, and he says Rocco most impactful. Plenty here for Mark. Tell you what, but I must say, I think. Oof. Yeah, I think Rocco's taken this one out. Rocco is the Fan Cam of the Year award winner, and a deserved winner. They're all deserved winners in their own right. But yeah, Rocco just had a way to draw us all in. And like I said, everyone plays an important part. Everyone's opinion was great, but I guess Rocco was viewed by the people as someone who really caught their attention. But yeah, I love it. I think that the fan cams issue, it was something I wanted to do last year, and we did it last year. I was very mindful of doing it after losses and what's it going to be like outside of the stadium, when there's alcohol involved and things like that. But I think we found out this year that fan cams are absolutely here to stay. So I'm looking forward to doing these with everybody next year, and I hope, like you said, mate, I hope we get a few more women on board. I think we did towards the end. I think the last few rounds we started getting
We did. I just want to see more, because I see so many of our wonderful female members in the comments, and I don't see them on the TV. So do you know what I mean? I don't see them, and I'm like, come on, get involved, man. Like, stop making me look like a dickhead on my own. You know what I mean? Someone else take up now. Do you know what I mean? I get it. I get hit hard all the time. But nah, it was great. Like, honestly, when I was doing that, like, there was probably about 20 people that stood out as well for me as well. Like, we had Andrew as well. Andrew, who did the wonderful presentation on Mitch McGovern, which was an eye-opener. And I thought that took a lot of balls as well, because the comments were fire on Mitch McGovern. And he came on with his Liam Sumner shirt and he backed his boy in. I've got a lot of time for that, because to me, whether I agree with you or not, if you come with a constructive argument and you're willing to back it, you gain my respect instantly, because it's tough to go against that. And the comments were fire when he came on. So fair play. I mean, there was loads though. Like, we've got so many to mention, but like, you've got big old calf dog, old Khalifa. He's so calm and measured. I love him. Joe, my co-host for the last couple of weeks, he's another measured one. I love the irrational ones though, like Paul Sebastiani. He started to get a little bit upset. I love that. Just release it. Release the fury, man. Honestly, release it. Love it.
I also want to give, I spoke about, we're going to give out a print. So as you can see here, the Patrick Cripps print done by our friend Sammy G, who has a website, Sammy G Design. You could check her out on Instagram. That actually... that works well. So I'm going to give this award out to someone who I basically put out for the subscribers. I put the names together. I didn't actually film it, but I do have the name, and I want to give this award out to someone who's come on board this year as a fan. I think I've only noticed this person this year. She has been so active in the communication and the engagement and the back and forth. I find myself always reading her comments and saying, it's a really good point, really engaging. So Helena Petru, you have won the Patrick Cripps. So thank you very much for your support this year, and it's great to have you part of the family. So get in touch with me. I'll get in touch with you after the show, and I will send this through to you, and that's courtesy of Sammy G Design. And so, yeah, it's good to be able to give these things away. And Pom, those are the awards, mate. Those are the awards. Any other thoughts about them?
Oh, it's emotional, isn't it? Because like, it kind of now draws a line under the year, doesn't it? And we've got nothing to look forward to anymore. It's like the end credits of the 1980s Incredible Hulk series now. But nah, it's been a great year. I mean, I've got to give a big shout out to every fan, whether you've PM'd me, piss off home, Pommy, you fucking foreign dog, or you've given me love and support. Every message, whether it's good or bad, I've enjoyed it, because it means I've affected you, and that's what I do this for. I do it so you either get enjoyment or it increases your hatred of English people. Don't really care which it does, as long as it affects you when you listen to it. That's all I care. But like, for me, the big thing is I appreciate it. It's been a tough year, like Chris Beach said. And I've suffered from it as well, being locked in the house. And just to interact with everyone once a week has probably kept me away from feeling depressed or anything, because I've really enjoyed it, every second of it. And the questions, the love, the support. I mean, for a former fat guy who started here as a fat guy and getting abuse, and to hear comments, you look sharp, that makes my world, man. Makes my world. So honestly, from the bottom of my heart, I love every single one of you.
You're a legend, mate. You're a legend. I want to give a few more thank yous before we can turn this to more of a fan Q&A interactive session before we wrap it up. Some serious contributors. I mentioned Sammy G Design, Brandon from Melbourne Coffee Roasting Co., who jumped on as a sponsor early in the year. We're looking forward to helping out his business once everything's back up and running again. We've got Joseph Adamo, who came on board as our chief editor now. He writes all of the things on the website. We thank him. We thank, speaking of the website, my man Benny Dunn, who runs Be Like That Creative, who actually designed the website and put it together in a really short amount of time. So if anyone's out there looking for a website, Be Like That Creative. I think it's BLT Creative on Instagram and Facebook. Really, really good work Benny does. He's a dear friend of mine, and he's a professional. The Costello boys, Sean and his son Jude, who put together the player ratings for the first few rounds so we could have the award. We've got Bailey, who is in the comments here. Bailey, the artist. Bailey put together the compilation video for the year. So he went through the entire year's videos and put it all together in 10 minutes. So thank you very much, Bailey. I think I've got everybody except one. Pom, that's you, mate. It's been fascinating. We've been here for a year with you and I, just over a year. I don't want to get too soppy, but I do love you, and I appreciate the value you've brought. And I think you've become a great person a better person over the last 12 months. And I think you should be acknowledged for that. And it's been great to work with you, but more importantly, it's been good to have you as a friend. So it's a bit wholesome right now, but I just wanted to say I appreciate you, and that's all the thank yous.
Oh, that means the world to me. I mean, I love you, man. I mean, I see you now as a little brother living, in Armadale, having artisan boards and Western House fridges. I mean, big shout out to you as well, Tez. I've got to say, man, you've built something special here. I mean, I came on board when you just moved over here, and to see how far you've come from a guy with a handheld camera in the middle of a bomb shelter in Israel to what you've built, man. Like, honestly, this platform's brilliant, and I love you to pieces, man. Like, I've learned so much. And I do think we've got to reserve one special shout out. I've forgotten about him. Shad Daddy.
Yes.
He might be the most miserable twat I've ever met, right? Honestly, the guy is miserable. On a scale of 1 out of 10, miserable twat. But talent, always got time for us. He's the only person I've ever met who doesn't have a drug addiction or an alcohol addiction, who sleeps at 4 o'clock in the afternoon. Absolutely adore the bloke, though. And honestly, if you've got anything else that you need in the way of media, come and see him, because he's a legend, is Shad. I give him stick, love him.
Love it. Let's focus the next 10 or so minutes now that we've put everything together, and I guess this is the wrap up of 2020. Obviously, we still have the 2020 season reviews for the players to come out and all of that. But why don't we have a little bit of a chat, Pom, about just things in general that are happening right now. And I guess for you guys at home, now is the time we can go back and forth, ask some questions, and we can just have a bit of a Q&A for probably 10 minutes or so before we let everyone get back to their lives. Pom, start with us, mate. What as it stands right now, what is the hottest thing happening for the club right now?
I reckon, I got PM today because the rumours of Clayton Oliver have started to go into the media. I'm hoping I've influenced that. Nick Austin, I know you watch this, stealing my draft ideas. But for me, I think there is an unnamed A-list player, because I look at the media, there's all these little secret agendas. Carlton are planning something. I reckon we're going to see a big A-list star. We love Pom's big call. I reckon you see someone A-list through the door to help Cripper in 2021. And I can't wait to see it. I'm so excited that Williams is locked away. And I reckon you're going to see two more big names. Two more big names is Pom's big shout.
I'm going to be honest. I have turned a little bit, and I would rather. I've had a bit of a think. I've listened to everyone. I've read the comments, and I've now sort of formed my own view. I think I would prefer 2 to 3 good players than one superstar player. I think what I saw this year from a guy like Jack Nunes and a guy like Mark Pitternet, who were able to come in, and we didn't know if they'd be in the best 22, but they showed at times that they were absolutely in the best 22. We're going to have 2 to 3 more players like that who come in, maybe a level better than them, who come in and force themselves into the side. I think that's the kick up the arse these highly touted draft picks like the Dows, like the O'Briens, etc., and the Kennedys and whatnot will need to get back up there, because I think what's missing from some of these young players is they've been highly touted their whole lives. They've been talked up their whole lives. Some of them have never really been doubted, right? So I think having players come in to do this for them where they think, hang on, I'm more talented than you, I think that's the key. Having said that, Pom, I'm not against Clayton Oliver, Josh Kelly, ex A-grade player coming in. But I do think we need to be careful and mindful of doing the Carlton thing, which is we're getting this guy, he's the saviour. Because Charlie Curnow's the saviour, baby.
Oh, 100% no. I mean, for me, we did our video together. That was something I was mindful of. Players I'm bringing in, I got a lot of questions. Why did you get Isaac Smith in? For me, that puts pressure on players like Lockie O'Brien because they've got to beat a Premiership player to get in the squad. For me, if we are getting, your backup players, it's players that could be first 22. Gone are the years, of getting idiots like Aaron Mullet in, who I'm pretty sure we only signed because he had an entertaining name. Like for me, that's where we are as a club now. Look at what St Kilda did. They got good players in, your Zach Joneses, your Brad Hills. These guys aren't elite, but they are better than average. They're smarter than the average bear. They've got, especially Zach Jones, he's someone that if he has a role where he is the star, we've never seen what he can do, and he's been killing it for St Kilda. So definitely I agree with your point. I mean, for me, I'm pinning my hopes on Clayton Oliver to come and Sard. I think if you bring in Clayton Oliver, gone are the questions about Cripper. Does he need help? He's got a guy who is equal to him in numbers. Imagine having 2 Crippers. He also has a wonderful handball game. And then you have Sard down the back. Oh, to re-quote the Pom, we're talking top 4 football. This is stuff of dreams.
Made of.
Honestly, you thought I was excited this year, throwing Oliver into that, and I'm going to be bouncing from round 1.
Yeah, love it. Let's get to a few of these questions here. We've got Wildy, assistant coaches, will there be turnover? Let's ask everyone, yes or no. Will there be turnover? I say yes. Pom?
Oh, I reckon everyone's sacking and everyone's rehiring. I reckon you can bet your ass to a barn dance that there is changes. I mean, how Barker manages to stay through every generation. I don't know what Barker's done. I know the players love him and I'm sure he does a great job. But when you look at other teams, there is always someone that goes that is kind of labelled as part of the old establishment. But Barker's always there, always there. And if I was Teague, I'd be dubious of a man who's been there with 3 different coaches. I don't know. For me, yeah, definitely. Whether that's a Solomon comes in. I mean, who did get delisted got removed of the coach the other day? An old Carlton favourite, Heath Scotland, went. Heath Scotland now is available for free. And he was mentioned quite a lot in the coaching video with me and Joe. So Heath Scotland returned to the Blues, eh? He was a good player, his old Heath. He knew how to play footy.
He did. He played in the Collingwood Granny, I believe, and then he was a very, very good player for us on both sides of his body. He could kick the ball. He was phenomenal. What else have we got here? Oh, I've forgotten a few thank yous. I'm sorry, boys. Carlton FC Daily, the boys, Nathan and Ethan, our next gen, Blue Abroad.
Oh,
yeah,
babies.
I'm an idiot.
Baby Pom and Baby Tez.
We appreciate you guys for coming on and giving us the insight from the next gen. And obviously, goes without saying, you should go and check them out on Instagram, Facebook, and I believe they're on YouTube as well. And also the boys from Blues Footy, Jed and Harrison, another new podcast that came out this year, and they did the pre-game show this year, and we're hoping to get them back next year. Speaking of that, mate, let's take a moment to talk about 2020. Just a thought that's come to me. We have, as a Carlton fan base, absolutely shifted the industry in 12 months, in a full season. The amount of fan-made content out there has literally fixed the problem immediately. The problem being rubbish journalism, gutter journalism about our club that is actually incorrect. It's literally gotten to the point now where I do not click on any mainstream media articles anymore. I don't do it anymore because I already know something's going to be wrong unless it's done by someone like a Riley Beveridge or a Cal Toomey, who I believe are Carlton supporters. What do you think about that?
I'm with you. I mean, for me, I've got to say, I'm a big fan, though, of listening to Kane Cornes, because if I've ever get a PM from someone saying, what does a POM know about football? I'll look at Kane Cornes and think, well, I know a bit more than him. So there's a winner. But no, seriously, for me, like Heath Boat, Carlton Live, Carlton FC Fan Daily, is it Blues Fan Footy, them dudes who put all the highlights of every game on YouTube, which is totally illegal, but I fucking love it.
Carlton Blues Fans. It is the single greatest channel on YouTube for Carlton fans right now.
You have no idea how many times when I rewatch a game, I actually use that website just to remind when I'm thinking, right, Walsh did this. Oh, they've released every highlight of Walsh. Click it so I can remember. Real great work. For me, I think not just anyone who does YouTube or social media. I think you've got, your Riley Starray and Lauren Hegarty, what the work they do for Carlton, Queensland. I think that's really informative. The fact they share all the articles as well, all in one place. The Western Australian abroad as well, whatever they're called, Western Australian Carlton with Big John Allen. The work he does is absolutely immense as well in the community as well. For me, I agree with you. It's all about the stuff we watch. Even Swoop Luke, I know he's a Collingwood fan, but the most fun I had this year, and I saw a couple of Collingwood guys pop up saying, Pom, do you remember me? That was the most fun I had all year, that week, where you, me, and him were going against each other. It was so much fun. Do you know what I mean? Like, some of the PMs I had were horrific, but it was so much fun because that game, we went into battle, not just as a club, but as an entire community. It was us versus them. I saw it on Pommy Oz, some of the Blue Abroad fans getting stuck in and defending my name against Collingwood. That's what it's all about, man. Like, it's us versus them. And it's been good fun, like, honestly, every single one of them. And like Shannon says as well, the fans themselves, Debbie O'Connor, where would I be without my Debbie O'Connor? She's like my surrogate mum. Yeah, she tells me off. She slaps my wrist. For me, absolutely brilliant. And yeah, I've loved them. I've loved every single one of you. I can't tell you how much love I've got, but yeah. I think Carlton fans, best in the world, baby. We're it.
Love it. I've got one more question here from Jesse F. before we wrap it up, mate. He's asking, what's the plans for the channel over the summer break? Keen to keep pumping the dollars in to see more great content. Well, goodness me. There's going to be a lot of Carlton People episodes. There's going to be a player review on every single player that played this year. There's going to be trade spotlight videos. Pom and I will do the draft videos for each pick that we eventually get. There will be
the draft as well, because that was great for video memes.
Absolutely. There will be more giveaways, maybe not every single week, but I'll think of something. There is a lot to come. So stay tuned.
There is something very exciting involving me and Rocco. It's going to be we're doing our own show. So a lot of you said you'd love to see me and Rocco together. Stay tuned as well, because that is in the pipeline.
Yes, for sure. And there's going to be there's going to be a few more shows to be added to the channel. But I'll leave it at that. Basically, plenty of things to come. You won't have an off season with nothing to watch. So let's leave it there, Pom. Thank you very much, everybody. Have a great night. Thanks for the year, and hey, we'll see you tomorrow. There's video coming out tomorrow, so it's not like this is it for the year. It's time to start looking forward to 2021. It's time to think business. Yes, we improved. We're happy we improved, but it's time to start thinking about improving even more. Finals is on the agenda, and it starts from right this very second. Finals is the #1 priority for us. So good evening to everyone, and go the Mighty Blues.
Go Blues!